In news just coming in, the reports are coming in of ongoing heavy clashes between security forces and terrorists close to police headquarters in Kabul, Afghanistan. There have been two blasts in the Kabul city. The first blast was reported close to PD-13 police headquarters in Dasht-e-Barchi area in Kabul city. Another blast was reported near Sheher-e-Nau area of Kabul. No casualties have been reported yet. Right, in news just coming in, this time from Kabul in Afghanistan. Reports of ongoing heavy clashes between security forces and terrorists close to the police headquarters in Kabul city. Now, there have been two blasts in the capital city. The first blast was reported close to PD-13 police headquarters in Dasht-e-Barchi area in the city. Another blast was reported near Sheher-e-Nau area of Kabul. No casualties have been reported so far. Right, we'll get you all the latest from our correspondents on the ground in Kabul and also in the headquarters here in New Delhi. But that's the news we're tracking here on WION this moment of two clashes in Kabul city, one near the police headquarters PD-13 in Kabul and the other in Sheher-e-Nau area. No casualties have been reported so far. Right, joining me on the phone line for more on this story is my colleague Amitabh Devi. Good afternoon, Amitabh. What's the latest you are hearing about these two incidents in Kabul?
Well, we can confirm two blasts that have taken place, but there are reports that there could have been more. The Police and Interior Ministry are confirming the two explosions that you were talking about. One is in the Dasht-e-Barchi area, which is the west of Kabul, and initial reports suggest that police headquarters in that area could have been the target, but right now, since security forces are responding to the incident, we're not getting confirmation of that. And the second one that again you mentioned is in the Sheher-e-Nau area, which is in the center of Kabul. It's an extremely busy area. There are shops, there are businesses in that area. This is the time of Adhan as well, so people will be out going to mosques, school children will be coming back. So the streets would be extremely busy. At the moment, we do know the security forces have surrounded both areas where these explosions have taken place, and there's a sporadic gunfire that has been heard in the area. Now, the reports of other blasts, which we can't confirm at the moment, is that it could be security forces also trying to neutralize the attacks there. So no mention so far of casualties, but yes, we can confirm at least two blasts in Kabul.
Right, so as Amitabh was pointing out there, a report of heavy clashes between security forces and terrorists close to police headquarters in Kabul city. There have been two blasts in the city. The first blast was reported close to the PD-13 police headquarters in Dasht-e-Barchi area. Another blast was reported near Sheher-e-Nau, also in the Kabul city, but no casualties have been reported just yet. And we'll get you all the latest going forward. Right, so just to bring our viewers up to speed with news coming right now from Kabul in Afghanistan, where there have been reports of clashes between security forces and terrorists at two incidents, one in Dasht-e-Barchi area of Kabul and the other in Sheher-e-Nau. No casualties have been reported so far. These are live visuals coming to you from Kabul city, where there have been two blasts, two incidents reported from Kabul city. Remember, Kabul has been targeted by terrorists in recent weeks and months, and injuring civilians and killing civilians in Kabul and in adjoining areas. Latest visuals coming to you from Kabul, where there have been clashes reported between security forces and terrorists and in two different places, one in Dasht-e-Barchi area and the other in Shahre-Now, both in Kabul city. These are live visuals coming to you of the incident in Kabul. All right, also joining me on the phone line from Kabul is Najibullah Azad, an Afghan analyst. Good afternoon, Mr. Azad. Good to have you on WION. What are you hearing about these two incidents of blasts reported from Kabul?
Well, good afternoon. Unfortunately, as usual, Kabul is under attack. There were, around 11 a.m., there were three heavy explosions in Dasht-e-Barchi, PD-13. And then an ongoing clash started between the Afghan security forces and terrorists. And an hour later, at 12, there were two heavy explosions in Shahre-Now, a green area, and the clashes is ongoing between the Afghan National Forces and terrorists. They are targeting for the last 10 days, since we're going to have parliamentary elections in October, and for that reason, the Afghan people are going to get the voting cards. They are targeting the mosques. They are targeting the schools where the voting cards are issued there. In a case that the Afghan intelligence forces just some days ago, weeks ago, gathered reports that the terrorists in Pakistan are planning to attack the Afghan voting stations, specifically schools and mosques. So, in conclusion, it's not a proxy war, it's not a complicated war, it's even not an undeclared war. Actually, it's a declared war by Pakistan. And the Afghan forces, the Afghan people are the victims, and they are pain. But we believe in our security forces. They are not only defending, but defeating the terrorists and those Pakistani puppets in Afghanistan.
Mr. Azad, what do we know about the terrorists? Which group might they belong to? Also, what are you hearing about any casualties, any killings or injuries to civilians in the area?
Well, like I said before, the clashes is ongoing between the Afghan international forces and the terrorists. So there is not an accurate number of casualties right now, because the area has been surrounded by the Afghan security forces, and the clashes are ongoing. So we cannot have any figures about the casualties. And coming to which terrorist group is, take the responsibility. Well, for the Afghan government and for the Afghan people, it's very clear now. Whatever the group is, they change their names, they change their flags, but they are all these terrorist groups across the WION line. So with that dirty politics, with that two-level game, with a security dilemma, they change their names and flags. Of course, they also and that's very well known that they are funded, they are trained across the WION line. But when there are more civilian casualties, Taliban usually refuse those attacks, that they don't take the responsibility, which we know because of the reaction from the Afghan civilians. So in that case, they usually refuse. But whatever, if it's IS or Taliban, they are the same for the Afghan people now.
Also, Mr. Azad, now we know that mosques, hotels, journalists, civilians, all have been targeted by terrorists in recent weeks and months. What do you make of the linkages across the border in Pakistan and the linkages between terror groups and Pakistani deep state? How does the Afghan government and the people view Pakistan's complicity or duplicity on the issue of terrorism?
Well, it's not only the Afghan government, it's not only the Afghan people, it's not even the international community that we have seen that the Pakistani leaders, the Pakistani ex-officials, including the former president Musharraf and well-known political leader Imran Khan and Hamidul. They all in different interviews they said, well, they trained Taliban and they were funding Taliban. So in that case, there is no choice to even think of something good coming from Pakistan. It's a country that is for on the concept to do or to die. This is very clear. And what the Afghan government is doing, of course, they have provided the evidence, the documents to international communities, including the National Security Council of the United Nations, including the United States, NATO alliances, and provided evidence, documents that whatever is going on in Pakistan. The Afghan government, based on their international or foreign policy, they are doing quite well. Putting pressure on Pakistan, that's one way. The other way is the Afghan security forces. They're defending their country, the asylum fighting the terrorists. And the Afghan people, they don't even want to hear the name of Pakistan anymore. And we have witnessed that not only these the people living in Afghanistan, but the Pashtuns across the country, across the border, across the WION line in Pakistan, they have been tortured, violated. So the Pakistani government, under the room studies, under the International Criminal Law, ICO, UNHCR, they are committing crimes against humanity, crimes against peace, terror. They're offending, committing terrorism, torture, violating extrajudicial killings. That's very clear. For people across the WION line in Afghanistan and international security, what the Afghan government is doing, they still need to put it on the priority, on the top, to put more pressure on Pakistan from the international community.
Right, so as we're watching these live visuals coming to you from Kabul, where 2 blasts have been reported just moments ago. No casualties reported just yet, but 2 blasts, one in Dasht-e-Barchi area and the second in Sheher-e-Naw. And as Najibullah Azad was telling us just moments ago, no casualties reported just yet, and efforts are on to control the situation. On that though, Najibullah Azad, thank you so much for joining us on WION. Appreciate it.